Good evening, Tatsters. Welcome to this hopefully new series of regular lives, buy, sell, repeat. Yeah, hour long, 9 till 10, roughly. We're going to get some different guests on every week or every fortnight, talk about their different niches, get to know who they are, different backgrounds, have a cool, chilled out chat. Before we get our today's guest on, you all know who it is. We've got Pete in the background. We'll bring him on in a second. Obviously, we are live on YouTube. We're live on my Facebook page as well. So let's just say a quick few hellos and then we'll get going with the chat. First in that I can see on my screen, David Austin. Hey, David. Hope you're all well. Here and ready. Andy. Good stuff. Got Lee, the Dave, of course. Going to be a good one. I hope so. I was saying to Pete before we went live, literally 15 minutes ago, I've been repainting the bathroom, still covered in paint. It's been a mad week. Hence why I'm sporadically doing the videos. I'm 3 videos behind at the moment, but they're coming. So yeah, hey Andy, Richards. Yeah, live chat. We are live right now. If you're a subscriber on the YouTube channel, you can join in with the live chat. If you've got any questions, obviously whack them down below. I've got a few myself, get onto a few subjects, and then we'll dip in the chat, see what you got to ask. It's mainly men's clothing, charity shops, YouTube, or whatever you want. Yeah, let's get going. So everyone welcome, CHADDYPETE. Hey, Pete.
How's it going, guys? How you doing, George? You all right?
Yeah, good. Thanks for joining me on the channel.
No worries, mate.
It's been a long time in the making. I think I messaged you, what, half a year ago, maybe more?
Yeah, something like that, but life gets in the way. That's all.
Exactly, yeah. Bumped into you at the Kilo sale. Was it Nottingham?
Yeah, literally. I rolled down the hill and I can get that's how close you are to my house. So yeah, it's dead close.
So do you want to introduce yourself a bit? Where you're from, your background?
Cool. So my name's not actually CHADDYPETE, obviously. So my name's Peter and I am from Oldham up north. So probably most people who know Oldham will know a little place called Chadderton, and that's where I got the name from. Basically, it was my first email account, so it's CHADDYPETE@hotmail.com. I've lost that now, so I just carried on using the name. So yeah, that's where I started. I moved down to Derbyshire when I joined the police, and I got married, so we lived down here. And from there, I don't know, it's just I was in the police, loving life. But then somewhat random happened. Like the missus, she's got a business. She works from home, so it's like I always wanted to have something like that on the side. And then I saw like a random Gary V, like do you like these snippets that you get on Instagram, like a little what do you call it, like a reel. And he was talking about you can find anything in your house and you can just flip it. And I thought I might just give it a go, just see what I can do. And I remember the first thing I flipped, I went to a charity shop. I didn't sell something else. I found a Wimbledon tie for like £1, and I sold it for £15. And in my head, it exploded. Like my head exploded. I was like, how have I bought this for £1 and it sold for £15? And then that's it. The rest was history. I just started doing it a bit more, got a bit way more into it. It replaced my police income. And I went on the shared parental leave when I had my second child. And then after that, I didn't go back. So yeah, life is good.
Nice. So how long have you been reselling then? Like part-time, full-time?
So part-time, I think I started back in 2017, 16, I can't remember, so around that time. And then 2020, I actually did the leap and went full-time. Literally like a month before COVID.
Really? Oh, no.
But it worked out. It actually worked out.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I didn't realize you was full-time for that short amount of time. Even though
not long at all. Not long at all. Like, yeah, it was just, I just thought, you know what, the money's good. I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. And then obviously the real test was March 2020. And I was like, I'm not going to make any money, am I? And the sales kept coming in. So I couldn't really complain.
Yeah, I found that. I was panicking. Although my weak point was I don't have much of a backlog, or I didn't used to. So literally I was on top of it week on week and then bang. I think I had 1 or 2 weeks before COVID hit of boot sales.
Yeah.
And then that was it until July or whatever it was.
Yeah, just in time.
I just literally couldn't keep on top of getting more stock in. But I fumbled my way through it just about. Yeah, horrible.
Yeah, well, it was one of them. It was a real test. And obviously if you made it, sorry, let me just put, my chair keeps moving down slowly but surely. So I have to stick with it. But yeah, things were good. Really good.
Cool. So, you were a copper in the past. Chris, I believe, was as well, and Nick Hills. There seems to be a theme. But how long was you in the cops?
So I joined Greater Manchester Police back in 2011. And then I moved down to Derbyshire in 2014. So altogether, what's that? I was policeman for about 9 years, something like that. So I stayed as like a 999 cop for the whole time. I enjoyed it. And it was one of those things though, like it was playing in the back of my mind, like if I want to progress, if that makes sense, like get promoted and stuff, I'd have to see less of my family and I'd have to spend more time at work. And I just wasn't feeling it because at one point I actually went part-time as a policeman because of the money I was making. The wife was doing good as well. So I went part-time a little bit. So I didn't want to have to go back full-time. And then I felt like the only kind of route for me was to exit. And so, yeah, that's how it went.
But you did enjoy it then?
Oh, if I had, basically, this is how I always say to people, like, if I had to get a job again, I'll go back to the police. But I just don't want a job. And that's how I say it, because police is one of the best jobs in the world. But it's a job. Do you know what I mean? You still got a boss. You still got to answer to people. You still got to do stuff. But if I had to get another job, within a heartbeat, I'd be back in the cops because I loved it.
Oh, wow, really? Yeah, we love watching like the police shows, like all like Channel 4 and that, like proper.
Yeah. I was actually on one of those. I was actually on one of them. Like the back of my head was on one on the traffic cop.
Oh, nice.
But it's honestly, like I'll never knock it because it's a hard job and it's a fun job and it's so different. Just with reselling, you'll never do the same thing twice. You'll sell the same thing twice, obviously sometimes, but you'll never experience the same thing twice. It's a really random job when you're going out car booting, this, that, the other. It's so varied. And the same with the police, it's so varied. Like one day you're just driving around the middle of Derby, next minute you're in the middle of London doing something else. So I feel like it was a nice kind of segue to this one.
Yeah, I was the opposite. I hated all my jobs, and if I was to get a full-time job, like I don't know what I'd do, to be honest. So I'm just hoping this carries on, to be honest.
I think it will. You just got to keep working at it. So
exactly. What about adapting? So let's go on to your reselling.
Cool.
And as I said in my promo yesterday, I call you the like men's clothing guru. Like,
I try to. I don't feel like I'm a guru, but I feel like I try to just build knowledge, and I like to share it, and I like to talk a lot, as you already know now. But I just love talking about it. You know what I mean? So
exactly. I got you on in the background. So of course, Feet has got a YouTube channel. I've put the links down below. But let's talk a bit about your reselling. Have you always started with men's clothing and things like that and just carried on, or did you start somewhere else? Or
so I started with toys. So I used to like research toys, do all sorts of toys, and used to go in charity shops looking for them, go car boots. And the thing was, I got a bit, I don't know, like in my head, I have to have a source of things which I can always get to. Now, I'm a pretty lazy person, so I don't like getting out of bed for car boots. So I know people like, early birds. I'm like a night owl, so I can't wake up. So in my head, I needed something that I could always go to and always have a supply of it. And I felt a natural direction was clothing. Now, I wasn't very good at clothing at all. Literally, I used to think like Hollister was like the best you're gonna get. Do like Abercrombie and Fitch? I thought that was like the peak. But then I met a few resellers who opened my eyes to how good clothing can be, and all you need to do is research. So I spent like 2-3 months just sat there writing brands out, looking at brands, looking at styles, looking at this, looking at that. And I feel like I've got to a point now where I've got a bit of a working knowledge. So yeah, it's been pretty good.
Yeah, literally. When did you start YouTube? You've started on Instagram, haven't you? That's where I heard your name first. Like people will say, like they follow CHADDYPETE on Instagram. You was never on YouTube.
I actually started in lockdown, March. Was it March? Yeah, so I think it was March. No, so March 2021. I believe it started.
Let's have a look. First video.
So
10 months ago. Yeah,
10 months. Yeah.
And 10 months already on 3,000. So congratulations on that. Well,
thank you. Cheers, appreciate that. I think half of those people are from you. So it just went crazy yesterday when you mentioned it. But
literally, from watching your channel, like I was lazy when it came to the clothes rails. I would literally scan past. If I saw like a basketball top or NFL, or if it just was obvious, then I would pick it up. Literally, like where you just look at the labels. I don't know, take a bit more time. Yes, definitely paid off for me this winter. Definitely, like today, I picked up. I shared it with you, didn't I? On Instagram.
Yeah.
I forgot what the brand's called now.
Canali.
Canali, that's it.
Yeah.
Coat for I paid 25, but it should be getting hopefully 180, 200.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's always out there. They're good.
It's out there. Yeah.
But it's just taking the time, just because I learned very quickly with clothing, it has its downsides of you got to make sure there's no stains, got to make sure there's no holes. But then once you get past that, I feel like, especially men's clothing, like I know men don't charity shop for their own clothes as much. The only time I see them getting clothes is when the missus is getting them in the same shop, if that makes sense. And she's showing it to him like, do you like these jeans? He's like, yeah. Do you know what I mean? So I knew that men's clothes, it's a bit of a gold mine. So you just, if you can learn the brands and learn the styles, you're literally going in and no one's touching it. You know what I mean? So
do you touch women's clothes or women's shoes?
You know what? In my next video?
I was going to say, your partner in crime, your wife, she's good at picking out.
So she's really good at it. She's really good. Yeah. I feel like, in my next video coming up, I did see something in the women's section. So I don't specifically go in, but if I notice something straight away, I will check it out and then I'll pick it up. But if I am going to go to the women's section, I will just kind of go to the coats and jumpers because I like to try and get through as many shops as possible rather than just staying in one shop. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah. And if it's a really posh shop, like really, really posh, I will probably tend to go and look at the women's stuff because I know like there'll be higher end brands in there. So, yeah.
If I do ever pick up women's stuff, it is coats, but it's like sort of a brand that would make men's clothes as well. So like Barber, obviously, I know Barber's good. Yeah. They make men's, they make women's. I'll pick it up.
Like a safe bet, basically. You kind of got good ideas, safe bet.
Exactly.
But the only problem with that is with men's clothing brands, with women's, sometimes it's always a bit less for some reason because women have their own specific brands which are really high end, which aren't in the men's at all. So again, it's just a balance, isn't it? If you can see it and it will make you some money, then fair play, crack on with it. Do you know what I mean? So yeah.
David Watkins has asked, do you think anyone can resell full time or do you need a nose for it?
So I like I said, when I started, I had no understanding of clothes. Like my wardrobe had nothing brand, like high-end brand at all. And all I did was take the time just to research all like over and over and over again. Just the same as I did with toys, I researched it. The same thing I did with electronics, I researched it. And if you research long enough, it starts just becoming a working knowledge. And that's it. Like, so I think anyone could go full time, but you have to add in all the other little elements into it with a business. So like making sure you're keeping a record of all your stock, making sure you are doing your taxes properly, make sure that you are make sure like dead stock which is in your thing is getting redone. So it does take a bit of discipline. It's not one of those things you could just say, I'll just kind of just do a little bit whilst I'm watching telly. You do need to put a bit of effort into it. Obviously, you probably know, George, as well. It's kind of it is quite full on. If you have to make it full on, it can be very full on. And as long as you are willing to do those things, you can go full time. I think anyone can.
I think you need a sort of passion for it to be full time. It can turn from a hobby, like part time. I'll do a bit here and there. It doesn't really matter because you've got another income coming in, especially if you're full time, like employed. It doesn't matter as much. But when the pressure is on and the returns are coming in, you need to really enjoy it. Basically, have a passion.
When you get those free tasty returns in 1 week, which is like basically your full wage, then you need to know if you like it or not.
I'm not even kidding. That's me this week. A Moncler coat being returned, £110. They changed their mind. A North Face coat changed their mind, and something else didn't fit. Free, and it's like £200 worth.
And just before Christmas, I sold a Louis Vuitton bag and a Ed Hardy jacket. Total price in that was about £1,000. Both of them got returned in the same week. I didn't get paid for a full week. So if you don't like, if that can put you off reselling, then you just do it part time because that stuff can really like make you think, am I actually doing what I'm meant to be doing? Do you know what I mean?
Yes. And a reminder for anyone, 11 days for the tax return, the 31st of January.
I've done mine already, but
I've done mine again, but I haven't paid it yet.
I hate doing it. But if you can do it in April, just after the tax year, do it. But I always postpone it till like January the 1st.
Same. And then there's a shock because you got to pay what you owe and then a bit in advance.
It's all messed up basically.
But yeah, you go to charity shops. You do not do boot sales at all.
You know what? I feel like I'm going to start doing them again. I go through different phases with it. Like I go in charity shops, say, oh yeah, I love charity shops and just love it. But I don't like just picking up clothes. I like picking other stuff. But in charity shops, it's a bit harder to find the other stuff, I believe. And so when I go to a car boot, I'll pick up the toys, which I know about. I pick up the electronics I know about. So I'm going to start doing a bit more car boots, to be honest. Like, just be a bit more disciplined.
Yeah. So what if there's a hi-fi stack? Is that too big for you? Or if you did go to a boot sale, what is the sort of thing?
So for me,
there's money in it, but you wouldn't touch it.
For me, like, I'm not good with boxes, I'm not good with packing. That's the one thing that stresses me out. With clothing, when you get so used to clothing and all you need is a mailing bag and all you do is just fling it in and send it off. When it comes to something like a hi-fi, it stresses me out like so badly. But I did pick up like a whole wicker table. The missus found it, and it's sort of like it was meant to go to Puerto Rico, and because I sold it for about £350, but it was a bit too big for a parcel. It's meant to be a pallet, and then the pallet price is working out the same as the actual sold price. So I kind of gave up with it and sold it locally for like 100 and something quid. But yeah, I think with reselling as well, if you are happy to send, basically you just find out what you're happy to do. I'm happy to drive all over shops and stuff. Some people don't like that. I'm happy to, just parcel up like loads of little things. People don't like that. And some people like just picking up massive stuff and sending it. And so there's an advantage in that because not lots of people like doing it. So you just got to find what you're comfortable with doing. So, and I think that's one of the best things to do.
Yeah, if you're not comfortable, like VHS players sending it out, you think it might break and you're not comfortable getting the boxes or whatever. Yeah, there's plenty more niches to make money on. Don't feel pressured. I know that's worth 50 quid. And yeah,
definitely. Like I like toys, but I just can't find enough of them. But I feel like I get a few messages from people saying like, I'm struggling with clothes. I can't really find it. Can't work it out. And I say to you, if you don't, because some people genuinely don't like clothes. It just does their head in. Like the buttons and stuff. And do you know what I mean? Messing about with washing it and that. If you don't like clothes, you can get good at any category. The only reason why I do this one is because I personally enjoy clothing. But electronics, I think, is way more lucrative than clothing. Toys can be super lucrative. Like, I think there's I can't remember the name of the reseller. She's in the Netherlands. She makes an absolute killing. Is it? Really? I can't remember her name now.
I'm not sure.
I can't remember. I think it's like Dutch reseller or something like that. I'm not too sure, but she is incredible when it comes to like selling the toys, the Barbies, the intricate things, and she can sell like a Barbie for like 500 quid. So I mean, like it makes sense, and that's what I mean. If you can get a passion in it, anything is gold, as long as you find the right stuff within that category. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. We've got a was that STJ? Obviously, you go charity shopping. Do you do wholesale as well? Like I had to do wholesale. I've done a little bit in the winter and stuff. Is that something
I do a little bit of wholesale every now and again? But for me personally, like the margins for me are a bit too tight. Yeah. So if I really need to, I will go to wholesale and do like like kilo sales and stuff like that. But I just enjoy scavenging. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, it's a bit more difficult when all the shops are closed. But even then, you can go on Vinted, you can go on eBay, you can search there. And if you need, instead of having to spend 9 hours sourcing, spend 9 hours on eBay looking for the deals. You know what I mean? It's what you just got to pick your heart, haven't you? Sometimes.
Yeah, definitely. I've done a bit of both. Like the vintage kilo sales, you can go in person. It's £15 a kilo. Obviously, you can see the stuff there and then, but then you're competing and stuff. But then if you buy online, there's mixed reviews of different wholesalers, and it can be a bit of a stab in the dark.
I think the best thing with vintage wholesale or just wholesale in general is to actually go to the place instead of just trying to order it. Because again, like I did one of my videos about vintage wholesale guide and stuff, and they haven't got the time to try and give you the 100% best service if you're just a one-off customer. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So if you're ordering something, they'll just get whatever they can and put it in a box and provide it for you. But if you can go and handpick it yourself, spend time in there. Like you can spend the whole day. They accommodate you quite nicely. They'll give you like a Mackey's or something and stuff.
Yeah.
But you need to take the time and go yourself. Do you mean? And then if you're paying a little bit more, you know what exactly you're getting. If that makes sense. So that's my only advice I can give you with wholesaling.
Yeah, it's a tricky one. But yeah, I definitely prefer to go in person. Like I've done the two different types, and yeah, actually seeing and even finding the grails. Like I found like this Lotus. I don't even know what it is, but it was rare, and I've listed it for like 300 or 200 and something. But you might not get that necessarily if it was just randomly chucked in a bit of a lottery in a box or in a sack.
Yeah, exactly. I remember that all the Adidas shorts, which I sold for like 300 quid, that was from wholesale. So,
oh, really?
And that was I was the bins at the wholesale we went to at Full Vintage.
Yeah, a big
I was
boxes,
halfway through a bin, like my legs were pretty much up in the air. I was like vertical in this bin, and I was just going around and I found it, and there was nothing else like it. But I thought I might as well take these, and I did my research and obviously, and what it cost me like £5. Do you know what I mean? And they sold for like 300 quid. It's again handpick. I think is the best overall. But if you can't handpick, then try to do a virtual handpick before you try and just order it online. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah, definitely. Dave, one thing stopping him into doing it as a job is the tax thing. It looks difficult to do. It's not as difficult as it sounds. I use QuickBooks on my phone. It's literally, you can do cash basis, get what's come in, take away what's gone out, add your miles, and then it spits out a number, and then that's basically it. And with these apps as well, they do also like estimate what you're going to owe in tax, so you can prepare a bit. But it looks daunting. But yeah, definitely, like, don't let it put you off at all, Dave.
It's daunting when you leave it for like 2 weeks before the deadline. If you attack it straight away, and if you do it in bits, it makes it way much easier, way easier. If you're writing down everything you're getting in, at the end of my tax year, all I do is click on a document I've got, and it tells me everything that I bought, when it's sold, like where I've even got it from. Do you know what I mean? I just keep the records. If you're gonna keep the records, then tax is easy.
Again, with Ian, it's about the tax being daunting. Best way to keep track. Again, yeah, QuickBooks. Just it doesn't have to be each individual. Like when I go to boot sales, that's probably my most asked question. How do I keep a log?
Yeah.
Just take a picture of it as a whole bundle, put it in as a whole bundle. That's what I do. Make it as easy as you can for yourself while backing yourself up.
Well, again, if you get an accountant, they can help you with it and stuff. Do you know what I mean? So it makes it quite easy. So if you get an accountant, it's the worth is their money. Sorry, their worth is weight in gold. If that makes sense. Like it's really good just to get one, and they can do all the little, like numbers bits. But as long as you can just give them the information, they'll sort it out for you.
I've been dithering about getting an accountant. If I should go limited or if I hit VAT. As soon as I do that, I'll get an accountant. But
yeah, fair play.
I've been stingy. Like I don't want to pay for one, but then they save you in the long run. So
yeah, I mean, and still, even the money that you pay them, that's tax deductible. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's worth it if you get stuck with it. You know what I mean? So
yeah. Colin, so I don't know if that's my dad or not, but how many charity shops do you hit in a week to get your stock?
So
did you like going out? You drive out, hit as many as you can. Do you know?
Yeah, well, I think I'm trying to think now. Like I've gone down to just going sourcing once a week instead of just trying to do like loads of days, because I know if I do one concentrated day, I can hit like, and I'm focused. Like phone's not even ringing, not going on Instagram. I'm literally just flying around, going there through shops. I can hit about 40 shops in a day.
Yeah,
and it normally maybe 1-2 items per shop. Obviously, not every shop on average. I can come back with like 40 items, and that'll do me for the week, to be fair. So yeah, just once a day. Like some people go 3 times a week. I don't know how, but I kind of get, honestly, to be fair, like my favorite bit is packaging up. I don't know if that makes sense. Like just packaging up sales. I'm like, yeah, this is going. Because I just like seeing it going and getting it gone. I like taking photos as well, but yeah, sourcing is good, but I get tired easy, man. I get bored of sourcing. Do you know what I mean? If I've got loads of stock at home, I don't like going out thinking I'm going to add more onto it. Do you know what I mean? I like to get rid of it first. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah, I used to be like that, but because I've moved, I think we'll talk about this before we went live. Yeah, I've moved from Big Yellow to my garden now, and I can't actually believe how much backlog I got. I shouldn't be buying But that's my favorite bit is sourcing. I'll do it all day, every day. But I need to stop that. Otherwise, you just keep piling it on, and you never get through it.
I mean, I like to have a certain amount, but once it gets past that amount, it's always in my mind. I'm thinking I need to just take pictures of it. I'm out here looking at stuff, but I know for a fact I've got really good stuff at home that just needs to get put on the internet. So it's I just have to balance it.
Leo's got a good question. Do you honestly think the amount of new resellers that are popping up nowadays will or has affected reselling business? A few years ago, there were a handful. Now it seems there are loads. What do you think about that?
To be fair, there's always been loads. There's always been loads of resellers, always. Yeah. And even the thing about brand new resellers coming, right? And I've been in a position before. I've been into a shop where there's been like 1, 2, 3 resellers in there already. And I've still come out with the items I still wanted. And I kind of look at sneak peek at the things they're looking at. And I didn't want them anyway. Do you know what I mean? Either they're spending too much or the item's not as worth it as they think it is. And the thing about new resellers, they don't really know as much as what you need to do, or they don't really, they end up like concentrating on something for too long and missing all other bits. I remember this one lad, right? I came into a shop, he come flying past me, hit the rail, bang, 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 gone. And I was like, okay, that was weird. Went to that same rack, picked up 2 items, which both of them sold for like £30 and £50 because he didn't know what they were. And so, obviously, I know I do my videos to show you what I pick up stuff, but I don't show everything. And so that's it. I think that's the element I like to say. I pick up lots of stuff, but if it's something that I know I don't want to tell loads of people about, I won't just talk about it because I want to see that thing in the shop one day. You know what I mean? So, but at the same time, there's so many factors. People think, oh, I'm a reseller now. I know everything about reselling. I know what clothes sell, what clothes don't sell. I know what electronics are good. I remember when I first started, I picked up a Stone Island top, right? Thought I was the best ever when I first started. Brought it home. It was legitimately cut in half. It was half a t-shirt, right? I'm there concentrating on this t-shirt. There could have been so much other stuff out there. So regardless of how many resellers are there, like if you look at America, like even in Florida, like they'll be like, I remember I went to, where did I go? I went to Utah. I went to a Goodwill there. Okay. 12, 15 people all doing exactly the same thing I was doing. But they still have a good time because there's always the amount of stuff that's out there that people chuck away will never, ever diminish. So we're literally there as literally there trying to save it from going to the landfill.
Yeah, there's literally throwaway society. But yeah, with the whole new resellers drop off as well. Like since the pandemic, like when everyone's at home, I noticed there was quite an increase. People getting stuff online. But I've had messages like I get at least 1 or 2 a week saying, "I'm like jacked it in now. Do you want to buy my stock?" Like a job now, and then someone else might replace them, and then someone else should drop off.
It's the emotion. What people forget with reselling, when it comes to humans in general, people forget about the emotion and stuff. Some people, right, will not go out just because they can't be bothered. And maybe the football's on. Maybe the missus is in an argument with him. There's so many different factors because in people's mind, I feel like people think, oh, well, there's a reseller here. They're going to the shop every single day. They're taking all the best stuff. Like I had one lad said, oh, I ran out of money. So that's why you picked up that thing because I literally ran out of money. So I had no money to pick up any more stuff. Yeah. So I just think like there's just too much stuff out there to say, oh, there's too many resellers and I won't be able to find stuff. If you learn the stuff, you'll find the stuff. So
Rewind Resale says, why do charity shops love Superdry?
I have no idea. I don't know. There's a rule. I think there's a newsletter that goes round and they say if you reduce your Superdry to £10, we'll close your shop. That's a secret. I think that's a secret that I know it, but I have no idea why Superdry does the way it does.
I think because we got a Superdry in Chelmsford and their stuff isn't the cheapest, so I'm guessing.
But I don't know who buys it.
I don't.
I don't know anyone. I don't like the only people I knew about it were undercover cops all used to wear Superdry. That's the only people I knew. No one else wore Superdry. Only like 2005 when it first kind of released, and everyone's wearing those jackets. Was it 2005?
Yeah, I think I had a couple of Superdrys. Must have been 2008 to 10, that sort of period. I haven't touched it since, but if it's in a charity shop, it's going to be priced up.
Although the jeans, for some reason, tend to do quite well. Like
Oh, really?
They don't really price them up as much. I'm not sure why, but there must be, again, it must be another rule. But you can do quite well with super jeans. So that's one for you anyway. Yeah, it's a weird habit that they've got. Weird habit.
But then I was watching one of your videos. I think it was yesterday. When it comes to tactics with picking up things, like you said about Adidas, they will price Adidas as Adidas, but then you've got to know, was it pattern, years, just there's all different things. Don't just.
Perfect example is like, so we've had like I could talk about Adidas like all day because I love that stuff. But the easiest one I can kind of like illustrate is like Levi's. So you'll have a big bunch of Levi's in a shop, right? And if you understand how Levi's work, like even where the patches on the back of the jeans, you can easily differentiate whether it's made in America, whether it's vintage, whether it's got that selvage lining in it stuff. But all they see is Levi's. And so for me, in my head, it's like, I'll see those Levi's, but the Levi's have got to impress me now. So yeah, okay, it's Levi's, put your basics, so you're going back. Oh, this pair of Levi's, oh, you got a selvage lining and you got a big E on the back. I'm taking you because you've impressed me. I've not seen you for a while. I probably will never see you again. And so that's how I go around the shops. The clothing needs to impress me. It's like, yeah, fair enough, you're a barber, but are you cheap enough? Are you rare enough? Are you the right color? Are you the right size? Do you know what I mean? And that's what you kind of get into, that kind of mindset.
Yeah, definitely. Martin, do you ever shop at Mountain Warehouse and buy stock for 50% off and list it for full price? So I'm guessing, I know Mountain Warehouse you've mentioned before, but do you do a bit of RA?
Well, let me think.
Like retail arbitrage?
The only kind of one I've done is TK Maxx. That's the only one I kind of done. I know with Mountain Warehouse, there will be certain things in there, maybe like the merino wool base layers and stuff like that, which you could probably turn a margin on, but I've never really got into retail arbitrage. I might get into it one day, but at the minute, I don't like to spend too much on the forefront. I kind of like to spend a little on a lot, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I go to TK Maxx every now and then. I was actually in there Wednesday, filmed for Channel 5 on the show. Okay. So I had a bit of pressure. I was filming for the show and I had to find stuff. But yeah,
look at that.
It's obviously smaller profits on most stuff, but it's definitely doable. But it's not something I do loads.
It's achievable. I know some people that just live off that, but for me, I feel like you need a lot of money, capital up front if you want to go down that route, which you couldn't get if you really want to. But for me, I just like to just find it as cheap as possible for the best price. So
I got a arch rival apparently, Andy. Sorry, he's also in Derbyshire.
Oh,
local rival.
Well, if you ever see me in Derbyshire, it'll be a rare sight because I'm all over the place.
Yeah. How far do you go for charity shops?
Oh well, I've tended this year. I've stayed a bit closer, but I've drove. Let me think. I've drove like nearly 2 hours sometimes. Just depends how I feel. Really? Like if I wake up early enough, I'll drive to I'm in Derby. I've ended up at the top of London every now and again.
Really?
So like North London. I've been to because obviously Derby's quite central, so I can end up back up in Manchester and I can get down towards London. It's all still about 2 hours, you see. So I'll go everywhere. Do you know what I mean? Like I get bored sometimes going to the same places, so I'll literally get in the car and just drive. Like for example, next week or the week after, I can't remember when. Me and the missus were going to Norwich, and so I'm just going to go to Norwich. She's got an event down there, so I'm just going to do some source in Norwich. So wherever it takes me. And I think that's what I enjoy about it, because I just like that's what I enjoy about the job, just traveling. So it don't feel like a job. I get to see sights, I get to see different towns. So just make it fun whilst you can, innit?
Any people from Norwich in the chat? Their heart just sunk then.
I'll be in like Cossey if they know where that is. So I might be around there. So.
Anyone in there, let us know. I'll try and find them. But I was going to say, have you ever come down as far as Essex, my patch? Or
you know what? I used to live in Chelmsford. I probably already told you something.
Yeah, you said that to me, didn't you?
So I've not actually been back to. I haven't been back to Essex yet at all.
Good, yeah.
So I'm going to plan to. I'll let you know when I do, so you can stay on. But
that's something I wanted to do this year. I wanted to try and meet up with different resellers, do videos together.
I'm definitely up to getting a hotel in Chelmsford somewhere, like the Army and Navy, and then just going around. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah, you gotta let me know. It'll be fun. But as far as I go, I'm quite lazy and quite lucky. like Essex. Chelmsford is like central Essex. I can go to like Billericay. I can go to Colchester. It's all like half an hour drives instead of 2 hours for me. So lucky and lazy. But how does it work? Do you say you got 2 kids?
Yeah, so I've got one is 7 and the other one is just turned 3. So it's a crazy dynamic, to be honest. Like,
how does that work with juggling like school runs and stuff?
So, but actually, both mine are, well, the youngest one's at school, but my oldest one is actually homeschooled. So,
oh really?
So she kind of gets to know the family business a little bit. I take her into the shed and stuff, and she learns how to do some bits. So she does like things like forest school, and she goes to like an art class and stuff like that. So it's, I don't know, basically, like, I always get my example from my wife. Because she runs it from home, but she's been like 24-hour full-time mom, and she's been able to do it around it. And so I ask her, how do you even get to do stuff? And she says, those little pockets of time where you can scroll hole on your phone, that's when I'm working. Yeah. And so I think, okay. And that's how I work my business. Literally, there's no set time. Like, literally 10 minutes before this, I listen to a couple items. Like, put the kids in the bath, list a few more items. Kids go to bed, I'll just do like at least an hour. Do you know what I mean? So wherever you can find time, I just do it in those time periods. So
that's what I've, since Lenny was born, end of July, my business numbers have gone just because I need to try and do that, like little spurts, even if it is 10 minutes. Like,
it feels a bit weird though, doesn't it? Like, you think, well, 10 minutes is not going to be enough for anything.
Yeah.
But that 10 minutes can be quite good. Like, in 10 minutes, you can probably, if you got it all right, you could probably do 2 listings. That's 2 listings more than you would have done if you said, oh, I need an hour to get 15, 20 done.
Yeah,
so
I think that's where I'm stuck. I would like sit on the sofa, music on, glasses on, just like an hour, like non-stop. But literally with a 6-month-old, it's a struggle.
Yeah.
But yeah, I need to get used to them quick spurts. Like, oh, it doesn't matter. I'm not sitting down with a tea. Like, just quickly list one.
Yeah, don't get romantic with it. Do you know what I mean? It's just like a cut and break, just get it done. But what I found is a secret, which is dead good. If you can, obviously, I know yours is 6 months old, so I'm not sure about the sleeping patterns yet. But waking up early, like car boot time, 5 o'clock, and just waking up and just being in bed, maybe do some listings. If you can, get up, get in the shed, do a bit there. Like last night, yesterday, I got up about 6 o'clock in the morning, went to the shed, packed up loads of stuff, bagged it away and stuff, because I hate doing that job. Because I know like it's just a waste of time, but I knew because I was up at 6 o'clock in the morning, I could just get it done. So waking up early is probably one of the biggest hacks I found. So if you really need to get something done, set your alarm for 6 o'clock, just get up, and it's peaceful. Do you know what I mean? It's peace. It's pure peace. I love it.
Again, before he was born, I used to do that. Like, I'd set my alarm 6:30. The radio comes on quietly. I'll sit there again. But we're not like resting until like 11 at night. He's up at 3. He's up at 6.
So it is difficult.
So shall I get up and do some listing, or should I just sleep?
So in your case, maybe when he's the sleeping times, well, obviously you got your 2 girls you need picking up from schools. So if it's just a pocket of time. If you've got 15 minutes, it can be massive if you need to. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I remember when I was in the police, like I would, like, when just before I'm about to go home, or in between like a 9-9 job or something, and there's nothing to do, I'll do a couple listings. I'll literally get a couple listings on. They'll probably like come after me now, but I used to do a couple listings, and just whenever I could, after a night shift, I'll go to a car boot. Do you know what I mean? So it's just, you just got to make it up as you go along, really.
Yeah, I've got to improve that. Steve OC, do you ever haggle at charity shops?
You know what? I feel like for me, that's my rule. I never do. I never haggle, because I just think if it's there and that's the price that they want, I'll just take it for that price that they want. So for me, I need to think, is it worth my time picking up that? And is it worth my money picking it up? Because I'll never try and haggle someone from 20 down to 10. Do you know what I mean? Like, some people like to do it, but for me, it's a charity shop. Do you know what I mean? Like, they pick their prices. Because on the other end as well, if they got something there for £1, I'm not going to go telling them, oh, by the way, you could have listed this for £10. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, I just think haggling for me, I wouldn't really haggle at a charity shop ever.
No, same here. Obviously, it's for charity after their cuts and stuff. But I think the only time I sort of haggled, they had there's like vintage Ninja Turtle, like Christmas crackers. They're like big.
Yeah.
They're marked at like I think they're like a fiver each. They sold for about 20, so not massive.
Yeah.
But I had loads of them, like 20. And I sort of asked for their best price if I took all of them to help them out with space.
See, that's a good, like, yeah, that's the only time, to be fair, I've actually ever done it. If I've got a big bunch of stuff and I say, oh, can you do a price for all of this? Because I know I'll get it off your hands. But I won't really push it ever. If they said no straight away, I won't even try and fight it. You know, so okay, cool. You know what I mean? And then I'll decide then if it's worth my time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And Adam has this completely reminded me. I forgot about this. There's that TV show that other resellers appeared on. I believe you was on there, wasn't you? Bidding Wars.
I was on that one. Yeah, I don't think you're on that one, but it's I was on that. Yeah, Bidding Wars one. Yeah, it was different. That's all I can say.
How was it? Let's talk a bit about it because I watched them all. And everyone seemed to have fun. What was the setup like? Did you have to like stay in hotels and stuff? I think so. I got like the email, but I didn't like follow through with it.
Yeah, so let me think. So I got like a random message from someone in the recording studio company, and then I had to do like a couple interviews, and then I did a couple interviews, and they said okay, you can come on and stuff like that. So then they booked us a hotel they were recording in Bolton somewhere, so. They booked to the hotel in Bolton, and all the other people were there, but obviously I didn't really know them at the time. So yeah, booked to Bolton. You had to go up at like 7 o'clock in the morning because they started recording at 8, and that was like I was in there for like 4 days worth of recording. So it was good. Like it's just good to. Sorry. Oh yeah. To be honest, I haven't watched any episode. To be honest,
you don't like it.
I cringe. I can't. You know what? I make a YouTube video. I don't watch it back because it makes it cringe so hard. Same thing with that. Like I watched one, I was like, "No, I can't watch them again." It makes me cringe looking at myself. I watched all the other ones, but not mine. Oh, no way.
So how did it work? It was like returns pallets, was it? I think that's what the gist of it was.
Yeah. So there's a bit of a thing that with me, but I'll leave that for later. But yeah, so it's technically returns pallets. You bid on them, and you took them all and see what you got. Do you know what I mean? Like I didn't have the best time on there with the stuff I got, but either way, it was a fun day, and I had a fun time.
What pallet did you get? Was it
Oh, I got first one. Yeah, bedding and wedding.
Wedding. How did you get on?
So I had a bedding pallet, which was interesting to say the least, and then I got a wedding pallet, which they gave you a set time limit to sell it all. So anything after that didn't count as there's me. Oh, I've not seen that bit. I was at the tip and chuck it on the bedding.
I was gonna say, is that where the bedding went?
yeah. So I didn't watch that one. Anyway, so yeah, I can't remember what I was saying. It's on the wedding pallet. I sold quite a lot of it after the deadline. So
okay,
yeah, made a bit like I made some decent money on it. Fair, but not. I would, and that's what I don't like about the pallet return game. It's too general for me. I have to know exactly what I've got.
Yeah. So if there's a series 2 and they call you up, will you be going on it again?
I might probably take the missus with me because she's got more bants than I have, so she'll make it interesting. And so, like, if you notice some of my videos where I do bring the missus with me, I'm a lot more dynamic. I feel a lot more normal, if that makes sense. Because
you bounce off each other, sort of thing.
Yeah, and she rips on me when I pick up weird stuff, and you know, I mean, I can do the same. So
yeah. Scoot or Scott, it was actually one of Pete's videos that got me into reselling, and now I'm a verified Depop seller. So thanks, Pete.
Nice one.
Awesome.
Just keep doing the thing. You just get where you want to get to.
I love getting messages like that, like someone struggling, or not even struggling, just
need money.
Out. Exactly. Yeah, everything's getting tight, and just having that side income or just like an extra hobby.
All I think with clothing is, if you go to any clothing bank and you see the amount of clothes which are all going to do is going to end up on a tip, I tell everyone, you just got to resell.
Yeah, exactly.
You got to pick up that clothing because that's just money getting thrown away. Do you know what I mean? So there's no harm in it at all.
It's quite funny when I was moving units. My dad helped me, and he's not. He hasn't got that mentality of like that's worth money. Like he just sees it as old, and like as we was like packing stuff in the van, like what'd you buy that for? Is that going to sell? Like, yeah.
Like, and that's the thing. They'll always have that. There'll always be that balance of people that are happy to chuck stuff away, and some people are happy to pick it up. I've even got stuff in my house that I thought I could sell this, but I've seen it too much and I'm sick of it, so I'm chucking it. you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
even me as a reseller, I don't sell everything that I could sell. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, it's just
like yeah, even I get like that. Like I know, like I'm just sick of the sight of it. I just want rid of it, even if it's
exactly. And some
like,
people are happy to take it off your hands. I might
yeah,
have a good time
exactly,
with it, but you know what I mean?
like I just sorted out my wardrobe, like I think before Christmas, and I've got like jeans and I could sell for like 15, 12 pound postage, but I don't know.
I sometimes feel like your gut knows better than you. And I know it sounds a bit heebie-jeebie, but you know what you like and what you don't like. So if you need to send it off, send it off. Do you know what I mean? And if you don't like it, but if you like something else, replace that money and get this thing instead. And I honestly think sometimes like it could be all mystical, like this kind of, I don't know, like law of attraction kind of stuff. But
Yeah,
if you really like something, you want to sell it, sometimes I feel like it will sell for you good because you got that more passion into it. Do you know what I mean? And you're more willing to want it to sell better. And obviously you can go into all that kind of stuff, but I just pick up what I like, and the stuff I like seems to sell well. So
nice. Got a super chat. Thanks, Andy. You rock. I don't know if we'll say that's to you. You rock.
I don't know. Probably you, mate.
So what's the time? Oh, we've got 10 minutes yet. Should we talk a bit about your YouTube channel again? Let's come back to that.
Yeah, cool.
So you was on Instagram. How many years doing Instagram reselling? Was it?
Just Instagram for about 2, maybe 3 years, something like that. I just kind of went on it because I didn't know how, like when I first started, I didn't even know what the word was for buying stuff and selling it again.
Yeah.
So I tried to find the community to get to, and obviously the Instagram community is massive, and so I just went on there and just had a good time with it.
So what made you make the jump and start YouTube? Because that's like a whole different ball game.
Yeah.
YouTube.
Well, in my head, because I saw you doing them, and I thought, I can never do that. Like, it's too much effort. Like, it's a lot of work editing. I don't know how to edit. But then I had a few people just messaging me, just saying, Pete, why don't you just do a YouTube? And I thought, why not? So I tried my first video, and I cringed all the way through. But then I thought, this is all right. I learned how to edit as I went along. Like, my editing got a bit better over time.
Yeah.
So then I thought, I actually enjoy editing. I actually enjoy making videos. So that's why I've kind of stuck with it now. I just enjoy the whole process of making videos, trying to make them as entertaining as possible and a bit valuable. I like to see it like, for me, it's like a jigsaw puzzle. That people can sit there doing a jigsaw. I can sit there and just edit a video. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah, like your style. Like, in fact, I've started doing what you do. You talk to the camera as you're picking stuff up in the charity shop, or is that?
You know what? I find that's a lot more. It just feels a lot more natural for me. So
yeah,
if it's good for you, it's good for you. Yeah, and I think it for me it works way better. I just enjoy like talking, and you know what I mean. I'm talking all the time. Mrs. is sick of me. That's why she's happy I'm on here. So you know what I mean. It's just I just like talking about the stuff and the little intricacies and all that kind of stuff. And instead of calling Mrs., I'll just talk into a camera, and everyone else can hear me for the sins. You know what I mean? So,
yeah. So do you wear a chest mount and then just sort of talk down into it, or?
Yeah. So the chest mount. Like the GoPro I've got, I think I've got a GoPro 8, so the mic picks up everything, so it's really good. So I can just talk like this, obviously not like this loud, but I can talk kind of normally, and it picks up really nicely. Obviously, in editing process, you can obviously up the volume a little bit if you need to, but I've kind of got used to how loud I need to speak and how to speak in a shop. And if I can't speak in a shop, what kind of editing can I do to make it look better if I have to go to the car, for example? So yeah, I just like it. For me, it's just like chess, trying to work out best things to do. Do you know what I mean? So
is it a bit awkward when you're by yourself, not with like your wife, and you're talking? Do people give you funny looks? Or because I'd be
at first I thought it was dead weird, but now it's weird. Like honestly, people must think I'm like a bit crazy. Do you know what I mean? Like I'm just there talking, and they're looking at me like, "Who's this guy?" But normally, I kind of obviously charity shops are kind of quiet anyway, so. And if it is a little bit busy, I'll kind of work my way to like a bit of a quieter area so I can actually talk about it. But yeah, either way, I talk a lot and then I just chop it all up and then it seems to make sense when it's on the video. So
it's nothing worse than dead quiet, no music charity shop. And then
that's the ones I can't do it in. That's the ones I can't do it in. I like the ones with a bit of music on because then everyone's kind of doing the thing. But when it's silent, I just pick up the stuff and I walk out and I'll just kind of do like little bits of that. But yeah, it's just.
I recently got these. If I unplug them, 1 second. I got like wireless mics here.
Oh.
So one will go on, because I wear a backpack and it aims down. So that's the
Yeah.
receiver on there. And then I'll have a wireless one clipped here. So I don't have to talk as loud and it'll pick it up really clearly on the GoPro.
Oh, that's cool. See, I was thinking about getting one of them. I didn't even know Rode did one. So I might look into getting one, but I've got a bit of a big gob, so do you know what I mean?
Because I'm wearing my snood where it's cold. I can tuck that under my snood and it's right next to the voice box. And
undercover agent with a wire.
The only thing, it makes the GoPro extra chunky, so it makes it more noticeable. But I've been testing it. It seems to be working.
You know what
right.
I found when I wear all black, no one notices the camera. But I one time wore a grey coat. Every single shot was like, "Oh, are you recording? Oh, are you recording? What's this recording for? What's that camera for?" I was just like, I had to go out like a ninja every time I go sourcing. So if you notice, I'm always wearing all black in all videos because it's the only time people don't even notice it.
Yeah, I wear black jumper like this. I've got a black backpack, the GoPro black, and it's even though it's out on show on my shoulder, no one notices it.
Yeah,
on my chest, people noticed it more for some reason.
One lad called me a bailiff one time, which was quite funny.
Oh, really?
Even though I was like wearing trackies and stuff, but he's like, "Oh, there's a bailiff there, look," because he saw the camera.
Brum Reseller, we've got to get you on, Brum. Just wear some earpods and I can't talk now. Just wear some earpods as through your Jesus Christ. Basically, wear earpods, it'll link to your phone.
You know what? I did that once, and it was the best thing I did. But I keep forgetting to take them out the glove box now. So I'm going to start and try and do that again. Because it literally, you could talk as loud as this, and no one cares, does it? Because it's like,
he's on the phone.
All right, that's a good idea. I really like that.
That's cool. Any plans with the YouTube, like adapting it, making it bigger, or just sort of stick to how you are for now?
Well, the way I've done my YouTube is I've tried to make it as seamless in my life as possible. So if you're not, the videos which I do aren't very difficult for me to make because I'm doing that thing anyway. Does that make sense? So I'm going out sources. So all I'm doing is just attaching the camera on me, if that makes sense. So yeah, I think I might try and do some other stuff. But at the minute, I enjoy doing those videos, and those people like those videos. So if I can just be like a standard person who just gives people that hit of a charity shop, I don't mind. But I'll probably start including maybe car boots when like America and all that kind of stuff fully opens. Because normally I travel at least once a year to America. I'm going to try and go, maybe hit a few European countries. That's kind of my aim of it, and just see where it goes. Because at the minute, it's growing kind of nicely, and I get a lot of support. People leaving nice comments, so I'm guessing people like it.
Any trolls yet? Any haters?
One guy, because I picked up a board game, that Question of Sport board game, and that's the only one that got people all hyped, got all people all angry for some reason. I don't know why. But do you mean, like, obviously, like, you want to see stuff that's entertaining, so I tried to make it entertaining, but people are like, "Oh, you can't do that, you can't sell for this, that." I was just like, it's just a video. You can turn it off if you want to do. Do you know what I mean? It's all good. So,
you know you're doing well when you get a little band of haters. I get mine.
Oh, mate. I'm still waiting for that. I'm still waiting for a proper band of haters. That was only one video, but if I can get like a proper band, I know I've made it. Do you know what I mean? So I'm waiting still waiting.
And mine grows month on month.
Oh, that's all right then. Yeah, that's all right. You're doing well then, mate. You're doing well.
Yeah, exactly. I was going to ask before that. I was going to say something. No, I forgot now. David, again, what's your favorite brand to wear yourself?
You know what? I'm a bit like, this is the weirdest thing here, but I tend to not wear many brands at all. So, but ones I do wear, like I'll kind of, if I can find basic stuff, I've got basic stuff. But like right now, I've got this Fred Perry toy I picked up like last week for pretty cheap. But I like walking gear. That's my main one I really love. So I love Rab, mountain equipment, Patagonia. Like, if I can find anything like that, I find it very difficult to part ways with it. And I have to make sure if it's not an XL, then I can sell it. But if it's an XL and it's something like that, I'm very, very tempted to keep it. So I love walking gear, like, because it's like, especially for sourcing, keeps you nice and warm. It's dead light elasticated, so you can freedom of movement, stuff like that. So yeah.
There we go. Yeah, I'm prone to keep the odd thing, but then you can keep rotating. Like, I rotate the wardrobe. Like, I pick this up, I'll wear it for a few months, then sell it, and then I find something else and sort of replace it.
Yeah, that's a good point. I always try to, every time I bring something in, I try to take something out. So it keeps it flowing. Yeah, so it's like, it pays space, because obviously my stuff is all cheap, do you know what I mean? So it's nice to be able to sell it for a bit more, and then I can just replace it with something else. So yeah.
Yeah, I get told off every now and then, and I have to have a clear out.
Yeah.
I end up with more clothes than Amy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It's just so easy.
I'm getting better now. I'm getting better. I just sold a load of my clothing like last year, so I'm kind of on the bare minimum. So I'm kind of trying to keep it that way anyway.
Okay. I have a couple more questions and then we'll wrap it up. Colin, how many listings would you say is needed for a full-time clothing reseller?
So for me, I had about 500-600 listings. And that seemed to do quite well. Like, because they always say you sell for about 1% of your stock. So every day, if you're getting all the right stuff. So I sell about maybe like 5 or 6 items a day, but because my profit margin is good, that seems to kind of tie me over quite nicely. And then obviously when you get into good months, even though I had like 500-600, and I try to get up to 700 now, I'll get like sometimes 9 or 10 a day. So it just depends on the stock. Some people, you know what I mean? Like, especially with electronics, for example, you don't need 500 items. You maybe 100, 150. Toys, the same, 100, 150, 200. But clothing, 500-600, I would say, is pretty good number. Yeah. And if you can keep it at that level as well.
Yeah, during boot sale season, I like to have around 350 because obviously I do a bit of everything, but mainly like the vintage, like typewriters, video players. And I do like 250 even, and it's like hi-fi. I do fine, but at the moment I've dropped down to 192, and probably 75% is clothing, and I've got slow sales in a minute. So obviously with clothing, you've got lots more competition. So I reckon 500-600, I'd say.
And you tend to sell for a bit lower prices as well. So again, you just got to make sure that you're picking them up for the right prices. So that definitely. Even if it is self like 20-25, the margin is still strong, if that makes sense. Because when you get like a bit of a higher thing, like 40-50 pound, it all kind of works together quite nicely in the month.
Yeah. And then Lisa, any tips on how to make listing faster?
Okay, so on eBay especially, there is a thing called business policies and what do you call it now? Description templates. Okay. If you can fill them up, so there's a description template I use for all my listings. So all I do is do my listing, obviously tick all the boxes as quick as possible. But when you get to the description bit, that you can create your own template. And that's one of the first things I learned from like one of these American resellers. They have a template for everything. And as long as it says everything that can cover, you know, everything that you sell, then it's pretty much good to go. And then as long as you've got like a, what do you call it now? What do you call it? Return policy, the payment policy, as long as they're all generated, you've got all the right stuff, you can list within like 30-40 seconds, as long as obviously you can upload it quick enough, like the photos and stuff. But it don't take me that long to be fair.
I used to have business policies, but I opted out last year because whenever we went on holiday, it was really hard to change the dispatch day or dispatch time. I remember it being a fiddle. Like you'd have to find all your $2.99 items, change that.
There's a thing you can do to it's dead weird. I was going to tell you about it later, but there's like a business policy manager where you have to migrate all the listings onto one policy and then you can edit it all together. But if one drops out and it moves here, then it still sticks on the same dispatch. So it can be very frustrating. But if you can work it out, it can obviously save you a lot of time.
Yes, that's why I changed, because now I haven't got business policies. I have to edit every single one, which is a pain. But then when I go on holiday, I can just change the dispatch. Yeah. But then that's like once or twice a year. So I don't know if might have to change back again.
So obviously just find what works for you, isn't it, at the end of the day.
Yeah. There you go. On that, do you use Zip Sale? That's what I use at the moment.
I'm actually testing it out a minute. I'm using it for the one time. And like I just saw the other question before about do you sell on other platforms. So I do sell on Depop and Vinted. Obviously, I ain't got as many items on there. So I only get a few sales every now and again. But Zip Sales made it super easy now just to kind of list on Depop and Vinted. So for me, like it's super easy now. So I'll do eBay first, import it, and then just do Depop Vinted. And it just makes it so much easier doing like that.
It had to be my tip, not being sponsored to say this bit, but Zip Sale, I've literally used it every day, like especially when cross listing, and I get sales. I think I made a sale today on Vinted, like 20 quid hoodie that was on eBay for like 25. So we've got 20 anyway after fees.
Yeah. It's dead good. Like I've always, obviously, there's lots of different ones in America, and I was thinking if there's just one over here, it just makes life so much easier. And obviously, that I think Zipsell is a pretty strong competitor, to be fair. So yeah.
So do you dabble on Depop then as well? Did you say?
I do. For me, Depop, I've got a bit of a love-hate relationship with it, really. The good thing about it is if you sell something, it sells for the price you want it to sell, and the person just buys it, goes. However, I spend half the time answering messages of is it still available? How big is it? Oh, can you reduce the price? You reduce the price, they'll reply back to you. I'll never buy it. And so Depop for me, I don't really like it that much. But when the sale does come, it's a dead good sale.
Yeah, I'd say Depop's probably bottom of them three: eBay, Depop, Vinted. I'm more on Vinted than Depop at the minute, but I'm lazy when it comes to bumping, like edit and then save it and it bumps it and all that. I don't do that, but where I should probably.
Too much effort for me right now. Too much effort.
Yeah, just listen and hope.
Yeah, that's it.
We'll wrap this up now. As Paul says, subscribe to Pete's channel. The link is down below in the subscription, and to his Instagram page as well. Let's try and get him to 4K subscribers ASAP.
Oh, legend.
You'll learn plenty, I tell you. I've learned plenty. Like today, I picked up that coat like I said about. Should be hopefully 200 quid. Picked up a shirt that's listed for 30. I wouldn't have touched it. So yeah, definitely worth a watch and fun as well.
Appreciate that. Obviously, if you ever want to speak to me on Instagram, just send me a message, and if I can answer a question, I always try to. So yeah, it's all good.
I go. Kath wants to know: are you originally from Chadderton, Oldham?
Yes. So I'm from North Chad. That's what they'll know what that means. So I'm from North Chad, near the Asda, just off Garforth Street, near the town hall.
Is that posh area or rough?
So it's
Is that the rough area or posh area?
Oh man, it's the rough area, man.
Yeah,
rough man.
Prepared you for the police, though. I get.
Oh yeah. It was a fun. The most awkward thing about the cops was when I first started, I pulled over one of my mates. Well, the guy I was with pulled over one of my mates, so I had to kind of sit in the car like this.
Oh no,
it was super awkward. But yeah, that's how rough we were from. It was a fun place. I enjoyed it, so it taught me everything I need to know.
Nice. So yeah, thanks again for joining me, Pete. Hopefully get you on again and hopefully meet up at some point.
Yeah, enjoyed it, mate.
Yeah. For the viewers, thanks for watching. I want to try and make this like if not weekly, then fortnightly thing. Put in the comments below after this video, who do you want to see on the channel for an hour? Interview them, like UK, hopefully American YouTuber, resellers, Instagrammers. Yeah, let me know who you want to see, and I'll see what I can do for future streams. But yeah, shall I say that? I've got something else in the pipeline, but I'm not sure yet. But so I won't mention.
Keep it a secret and just blast it out.
Yeah, good idea. Amy's making me do this extra thing, but I'm not sure. I'll let you know after the stream when we finish. Yeah. Thanks for joining me. Thanks again, Pete. Make sure you subscribe to him. And yeah, see you next time.
Cheers, mate. Take care.